Hi, everybody. We are now live with Prasantha Devulapalli, my recent client who has attended the book course, book challenge, which is now called Write a Book in 3 Weeks. How are you doing, Prasantha?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm still working on my book.
Are you still working on your book?
Well, making the final corrections,
Yeah.
the more people that read it, the more comments I get. So then it's evolved from a 50 page to 80 page, and now it's over 100 pages. So
Amazing, amazing.
yeah.
But how do you feel right now? Now that you are, an author, it's going to be published very, very soon. So how does it
Yeah,
feel?
it's going to be published actually on Sunday. So
Okay.
I've fixed a date, and I told all my reviewers that that's it. Deadline is today.
How exciting that we're doing this thing now.
Yeah, yes, that's right. So I'm really excited about that. It's been a wonderful process, actually. I never thought that, first of all, that I could put down my ideas in such a coherent manner, because I've always thought I was a bit of a scatterbrain with my ideas all over the place and too many ideas, basically. And so when I started the process, I found it very difficult to focus, and that really helped with having a coach, uh, and having a group as well that you're accountable to, that kept me focused on my theme instead of mixing up a whole lot of stuff into it, which would have been a total mess, in my opinion. So that was the big thing, because writing was not the problem. It was having that focus and knowing when to stop and knowing when to go with the idea and expand on it. And that was sort of the nitty-gritty, which you had that opportunity in that program that we were all part of,
Mm.
because we had others to talk with.
Yeah, I totally get that because
Mhm.
I mean I write a lot as well myself, and I can go all the way, with the much that I want to write, but where do you stop and where is the focus? Um, but you came into the process or the book challenge when you uh, had not actually fully launched your business. So how is
That's
that
right.
coming from a person who because when you have a business already, it's kind of like half the job
I don't know
done.
about that. I won't say that. I would say reverse,
Yeah.
because what happened, at least for someone like me, as I said, we have a lot of ideas and a lot of thoughts, especially when you're not sure about what you want to do. Being a part of, first of all, taking a challenge in a book really meant that I had a focus. You
Yeah.
know, I focused on the theme and I looked deeply into it, and it also gave me that opportunity to look deep into myself and what are the values, what do I want my company to be about,
Mm.
because I didn't have that. I had like tons of ideas, all from making cards to coaching to advising, mentoring. It was a total mess of mush of everything. But this writing a book actually made, first of all, it made a few things clear to me. The first one, that I have a lot of experience that I could share and that has value. That was the first thing I learned. So I gave me confidence to say that when I go into this business with this book in my hand that I have written,
Mm.
with my thoughts, with my experiences, they add value to my company, actually, because I'm coming from an authentic source. I have something that says that, here you go, this is peer reviewed in a way. It's because I have management consultants professors who've looked at it and were like amazed at the quality and the ideas. And one of the professors even wrote, he said that I've been teaching and I'm a continuous learner of management, and I still learned something from this little book.
Wow, that's huge.
And so that gave me so the book actually gave me momentum to start my company in a much more solid base, with literally branding myself as to what I
Mm.
am.
Mm.
So the book branded me, and that's why it became a very important sales point for me in that way,
Mm.
or rather gave me confidence.
Exactly, exactly. So what I'm
Yeah.
picking up from you is that it's not just the fact that the book has put you in a spot where you are an authority of the topic, but also the book gives you confidence to come out
Yes.
and steer this thing to kick off your business in a sense. I'm going to do
Yes.
one very silly thing now,
Yeah.
which I said I was going to do just now, but I did not. And that is to just plug in, just in case we don't want to lose this. Okay, now we're good. So the book has actually given you a confidence, because people tend to think like it's like a chicken and egg thing. If I've not started on my business, then who am I to be speaking about this? But we're trying to reverse it a little bit,
Yeah.
right?
Because starting a business comes from a basis of experience, actually. And experience is something that we all have, especially those of us who are a little bit older, I would say, who've already worked for many years. Like I have 25 plus years of working experience, out of which 20 years plus were just as a leader in different areas and fields. And and this book actually gave me the chance to put a focus on that expertise and that experiences and what I've learned along the way that actually would make my business much more stronger.
Incredible, right?
Yeah, so that's how it worked for me. But I totally get the point of saying that people can think that I need to have my business first before I can start talking, because we're not talking about the business in itself, but the experience that you have. Basically, when you're writing a book, that's what it is, right?
And the thing about experience is there's a lot that we can say, and there's only so much that we can write on a website, for example, or your post, for example. But what a book has done is to consolidate all your more salient points, not just anything, the most salient points and the more important experiences, and compile it such that these are the ones that will make a difference and make your readers and potential clients sit up and say, yes, this is the person I want to work with.
Because so it's like you said, it's part of like being able to identify with that person, because a lot of the experiences that we have, especially if you want to look at work and your career, they're pretty similar. It may be in a different company or in a different country even, for that matter, but it makes very little difference. You'll always come across a bad leader or a good person, someone who helped you, someone who mentored you, or some kind of a coach, someone who believed in you or didn't believe in you. We're products of our environment to a large extent. We are shaped by that. So I'm talking about leadership simply because that's what my book is about.
Yes,
and
yes, that's why I was thinking that we're
kind of company as
walking
well.
in circles a little bit.
Yeah, but basically what I'm trying to say is that we do experience them in different work cultures, whether it's hierarchical or it's a flat structure, it doesn't matter. We meet all kinds of people and rather similar kind of issues of conflicts that we have. And so it's for me, it goes beyond just the company in itself.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot more. It's a lot more.
Yes.
So having gone through the course for 3 weeks or a couple of weeks later, then we're done with the book though. But it's really a labor of love at the end of the day. Who do you think could benefit from this 3-week course that you have gone through?
Honestly speaking, I believe everyone has a unique stories and the unique experiences, so it can benefit anyone. Although I have chosen to concentrate on leadership in relation to work and all, I found that a lot of my personal experiences have played a very big role in how I dealt with work-related issues. And that is the uniqueness of all of us. We all have stories, how we deal with it. So to get that story out, and to see it for yourself in black and white, it does something incredibly uplifting in your confidence as a person. And I said, wow, I've experienced it and I've survived that, for example, And when you see it in black and white, and when you see somebody else read it and say, I identify with that person, I identify with that story, you're helping somebody else. That's basically it. You're helping someone else to feel that they're not alone.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? About
Yeah, at the end
contributing.
of the day, we all want to connect with others, you know.
Hmm.
And I didn't expect such. You know, I've been through quite a lot in the period of the time that I was writing this book. So I did not. I thought to myself, "Oh, this is going to be really hard for me to do." Honestly, and I thought I'm never going to finish writing a book. I mean, what is she talking about? Even like writing 2 pages is going to kill me, you know. But the more I wrote, the faster it flowed for the first. I became better at it. And I found that I mean, what the thing that I liked most about writing this book was that it inspired me to look at my life otherwise as well.
Wow.
So it's not just writing a book and publishing it. It's much more than that. It gives you a lot more.
Wow. I never, this is the first time I'm hearing you say this, that, you know, it's
Yeah.
inspiring you, the process itself. So,
Well, okay, you know, it's inspired me so much that I'm writing my second book.
amazing.
Yeah.
So the process has given you clarity for your business. It has given you probably
Confidence.
a different level of confidence, because
Yeah.
you have now all your experiences, work experience, is not just intangibly out there, it's black and white. And thirdly, I think it has given you inspiration. I really love this thing that you talked about in terms of the inspiration, because I personally believe, I mean, we're the same. I personally believe too that everyone has something very, very useful and valuable to share with people out there, and that is how we can all make the community at large a better place. So thank you so much for that. I want to ask you, what is the plans for your book? But maybe before that, we have been talking a little bit in circles. Why don't you talk about your book? What is it really about?
The book is, as I already mentioned, it's about leadership, but it's about conscious leadership or intentional leadership. Um, I think that we're still in the COVID time, so it's very relatable to a lot of people when I start talking about it. And we have found that a lot of different leadership styles have emerged from this period of time. You know, we've lost a lot of the connections that we've had before. So it's about the other side of leadership that looks away from fact and aggressive marketing, for example, and looks only at the nitty gritty and the number of hours that you've
The
produced, how long have
tangible
you sat
stuff.
in the office.
The
Yeah, you know,
tangible stuff, right?
the tangible things, which
Yeah.
are very masculine qualities
Mm.
and which are very important. And these are the skills that we often learn when we go to a business school. If you're doing an MBA, business studies, these are the things that they tell you about. These are the ones they teach you actually, and they tell you this is the only way that you will get ahead in life. Now we're suddenly seeing a trend where empathy, understanding, being able to read between the lines uh, have become more important. And that's what my book is about. It's how do you read between the lines, and how do you actually still continue to be productive and let your company grow in times where people are more scared, worried, stressed about what the future is going to hold for them. So it's basically about that. And they're like, I've only, honestly speaking, when you talk about feminine energy or these leadership styles, you can write an encyclopedia because there's so many things involved in this.
And yet many people don't know that. People don't know
Yeah.
what exactly is feminine
No,
leadership,
exactly.
because
It's
we've
still
been
new.
taught, yeah, we've been taught a lot more of masculine leadership, you know. So
Yes, that's what I've learned. I mean, that's why I'm a product of an MBA with those skills, you know.
yeah,
But I have found that strangely, maybe because I'm a woman, and I am global. I have lived in so many different countries and have constantly had to adjust and relate to new cultures and new ways studies. You know, everything I've had to relate to very, very quickly so I can move forward. And I think that has something to do with this ability to very quickly assess the situation and see things that are not necessarily masculine related. It's more, I look at the culture, I look at okay, this is how this office works, and this is how my leader is, and how do I tackle that person. I don't go the same way with each and every person. That's
Mm-hmm.
basically what I mean. So it's so this is what the book is about, and it, as I said, it's just touching the surface. It's
Yeah.
just touching the surface of all of this this masculine and feminine energy and how they can play together. Actually, I don't believe that you can only be all soft,
Mm-hmm.
or be all hard. I think you need to find a very good balance between the two. Know when to use which. Put more emphasis on that. You know, we all are the yin yang thing. If you want to talk about that,
Yeah.
we all have it. We all have the masculine and feminine abilities within us. We just have to tap into them at the right time, at the right situation.
Exactly.
It can be in your personal life. It can also be work related in your career, definitely.
Mm-hmm. You started talking about COVID, right? And there is a very interesting observation between what's been happening, as in the feminine leadership is showing itself during this COVID situation. You want to talk about that?
Well, that's part of also what the book is kind of like came, the idea of all of this feminine and masculine leadership and all of these ideas and concepts. And yeah, because most of the countries that have been women-led have seemed to have a better control over the COVID. And they've done it by just in Norway, say, for example, Anna Solberg was open to young children.
Yeah.
You know, she knew that children were anxious and worried because their parents were worried and stressed, being at home for so many months at a time. So she opened the doors and had an interview with kids, and they could ask her anything. Well, she's the head of the government, and she sat with little children, you know, and they asked her in this children's channel that they have, and it just shows that when you are more human, more approachable. And you say that I see you, that the country also understands the responsibility that it has to take in controlling it themselves. So people do take precautions. They do wash their hands more frequently. They put that because they realize that their children are also worried. And this is something that the government has brought forward, right? Same with New Zealand and so many other countries.
So
which are,
let's just name the countries now with women in power.
Oh my God, yeah.
And those are the ones that have really
wasn't it
tackled.
Taiwan, New Zealand,
Iceland,
Norway, Iceland, even Germany.
Finland.
And Germany was one of the worst hit.
Yeah. Finland, Denmark.
Yes.
Denmark.
That's right.
Yeah. So we have Norway, Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Germany, you said.
Taiwan, I think those are
Taiwan as well. So we got 6 countries which are led by women leaders, and they have managed and taken real good control of the situation. So if you want to talk about the feminine leadership.
But, you know, I have to just make one little statement in favor of men.
Yes.
We, in all fairness, the men that we are pointing fingers at, like say Modi or Trump and all of these people, although I'm not a supporter of any of them, or yes I am, but you know what I mean. They have huge countries, and they have highly diverse nations. You know, compared to these little countries. So in all fairness, we do know that they are facing much bigger challenges than these countries are facing. So that being said, these countries still have made it.
Yeah, exactly.
Female-led.
And there's like real feminine leadership coming out there for you also. You know, that we have to be fair. And I think Anna Solberg is also exhibiting qualities of being compassionate, being engaging with the young when it comes to these crisis situations. So who do you think should read your book?
Well, I think young men should read it.
Young men. Okay, yes. Cool. Yes, young men who are starting out. Huh?
Because I think they want to be leaders, and they want to, a lot of men, young men already have the confidence and think they're it. And I think that if they read my book, they'll have a lot of aha moments when they said, oops, I don't think I've got it yet. I've got to go back and learn some more, maybe from their girlfriend or their mothers or their fathers or their mothers and sisters, and, you know, their female colleagues and so on. So that's just one thing, but I think it's also applicable for women, because I do talk about that balancing, like I just said, the fairness part, to recognize that it is just as important to know your self-worth and have that confidence and to say, this is what I'm worth. Women often tend to underestimate themselves and their abilities, something a man will never do. And that's a very important masculine trait, I believe, that we must incorporate in our mindset as well as women. So I think it is suitable. It's a book that both men and women would benefit from if you want to be an extraordinary leader.
For those who want to be extraordinary leaders
Yes.
in future, this is the book for you. And for young men who know that they will be future leaders, this is the book for you too. And I would recommend, on top of that, any business person. That means anybody, all entrepreneurs. In my opinion, I have read the full book. In my opinion, all entrepreneurs should read the book, because we are all managing not just our staff, employees, but employees, but also our followers on social media, in our groups. So we are all leaders in our own right, and these positions that we hold, the roles, actually reveal the person that you are. I'm trying to borrow this Michelle Obama's point that she said the presidentship does not it does not change you, but it reveals who you are. Let's not talk about presidentship. Let's just talk about leadership. All of us who are leaders in our own right. So any particular leader position that you're going to hold or are holding will reveal the true person that you are. So you got to be very conscious of this person. And I think this book will help you to identify who you are as a leader. So well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
In this book.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to publishing it soon now, and I'm excited, actually. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I think the whole group, those who took part in the course, I mean, we're all supporting one another. So far we've had
that was the thing. That was the one nice thing that I really liked. It's just, first of all, the group wasn't huge, so it was not something that we had very good dialogue. We were able to give honest opinions to one another because we felt very comfortable. And I guess I would have to say a lot of the credit would go to you, because you created such an atmosphere of openness. And that's a big plus for me if I'm going to join anything like that, because when you're writing something, you're often very, very afraid of being criticized and somebody pointing, that this is wrong or that's wrong. And you become very protective because after all, it's your baby, right?
Yes.
But you created a platform that was a very comfortable, very open, a very feminine one, where we could actually share this. And we were able to give feedback to our course mates or the people that we were taking this together. Yeah. I was able to write, for example, to Anya and said, Anya, you need to do this, this, and this. This is missing. Or I want a little bit more of you here, or whatever. And I was able to do that with a place of knowing that I want the best from her.
Yes. Yes.
And we did that with others as well. So we were able to lift each other up, and that is it's. I mean, there's so many these book challenges out there. It's probably because I know you, but that's still,
the bond is important.
I would say that that's a big plus.
Yeah,
attending your particular program.
Thank you, darling. The bond is very important, and I thought you brought up a very important point. This maturity, right? That we can comment on one another, knowing that this person has got my back. That's what you did for the rest. Or for everyone in the group. I know there's a lot of discussions. Even though I'm talking to them, I know at the back end, they're all talking so much to one another, bouncing off so many ideas. So I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. For those who are interested, Prasantha is going to launch her book on this week. Yes, Sunday. I'm afraid to say it.
Sunday. I don't care. Even if there are like 100 mistakes in it, I'm doing it.
Okay, so on Sunday, the book is going to be out. So look out for Prasantha's book. I will be blasting it at my end, either on IG or on Facebook, because that's what we do. We want to support one another, right?
Yes.
So thank you so much, Prasantha. All the very
Thank you. Yes. And yeah, we'll talk again. Take care. Bye.
bye.
Have a
Bye,
good
everyone.
afternoon.